Welcome to the Marketing Podcast. I'm Brendan.
I'm Heather. Hey, Brendan.
I just discovered another new feature of my phone. Like the last one was I could talk to it to play the Magic School Bus.
Yes.
Here's another new feature. And again, it's new to me. You guys probably know that it exists and it works. But it's called Instant Apps. So go back maybe 2 Google I.O.s ago, they announced the support for something called Insta Apps, where you can basically, if you click a link to, say, an article, and that website has an app, they can set it up where it will only download a part of the app, enough of the app that you can read the article in the app.
Right.
With the option to download the whole app. And if you navigate, let's say you go to the main screen of the app, it'll like download the app in little pieces so that it doesn't have to actually be installed on your phone.
Right. So I don't have to go to the App Store to download it. It just automatically does it.
Exactly. Just in little pieces. And where this really gets cool is, let's say you've got a store and let's say you've got a product and someone with a mobile device clicks on the product online, it can take them into your app and they could do the checkout process through your app.
And it's faster.
You know what? So far, I've seen it on CBC. So whenever I've seen like an article from CBC, it just downloads the Insta app.
Cool.
And to be fair, it does cache that Insta app code on your phone. You can go and you can like manage the Insta apps, but it's not like an app icon. It'll like move itself away if you need to put other stuff. You know, it's just cached data.
Cool.
No, I love it. It's
Neat.
Awesome.
What a cool toy.
This is it.
Wow.
This is it.
Fast.
So, but like old news, like this is a long time ago.
Okay.
I just found the slider option in my settings. So if you don't have Insta apps and you have an Android phone, go dig through your settings. It's in there somewhere.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. I'm still wrestling with iOS 11. That's still glitchy and makes me sad. And
Now's the time to switch.
I might become a Google customer in the near future. So go Android.
We should have like the ultimate argument, the marketer take on Android versus iOS.
Android versus iOS.
So we won't talk specs, but
yeah, just from a marketing standpoint.
Yeah.
I used to be so entrenched in iOS. Now, not so much.
We're getting off topic a little bit, but I don't think that's untrue for other iOS users and other Android users. I feel like everyone's getting a little entrenched.
Yeah.
Right? Like a lot of things happening, like the headphone jack is like the controversy of controversies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for Android users.
And I feel like people they're more willing to switch now than they ever have been. And I don't know if that's a sign that the big brands are messing up and not serving their customers.
Interesting point.
Specifically, or if like everyone's trying to copy what they think the trend is, and everyone's saying, "No, settle down. Just make something that works for me."
Yeah. True enough. So today, speaking of apps, I mean, I think this is interesting. YouTube. We've got an article here from Mobile Marketer that YouTube put in a while ago, and nobody's really talking about this. I wanted to talk about it today. In-app sharing for YouTube. And marketers should really be tuning into this. So to back up, back in August, YouTube announced that you could share videos within its app. And the app sharing holds potential wealth of features that may extend the ability to collect actionable data on the users. So basically from the app, you can encourage people to share your videos directly within the app. YouTube's trying to keep users in their app while bolstering the capability to track audience conversations around videos. So you can get, where the data exists in app is they have these now private groups, private discussion areas where you can chat about whatever that video is, like on that video. Whereas in the past, those comment sections would typically get hijacked by trolls, and the conversation would take a completely different twist from what the anticipated outcome was. And you instead can get, as somebody who's publishing on YouTube, greater insight into what people are saying about your brand exclusively, as opposed to all that kind of hijacking kind of stuff.
Do you have to let people in, or how do they get access to this group?
It's part of the sharing thing. So you as a user are logged into your YouTube account, and say you want to share that video with me, then you can in the app share that with me and chat about it, right?
Right. Okay.
But it's still it's public. I use that term loosely. Like, it's public in the sense of it's in a bit of a forum, but it's only by invite.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So the publisher of that video can see what people are saying, So it's not a private chat, but it's private where it's just us, and then, you know, some random person doesn't jump in and talks about something completely random that has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Right.
So it's giving brands greater insight, more meaningful conversations around that video, because of those closed forums. I already mentioned about it, limiting the conversations from being derailed or hijacked and getting those more accurate insights. It's a really cool feature that nobody seems to be talking about.
Right.
So I want to talk about that.
Well, I think anything to make the comment section better.
Sure.
Right? Like, how often have you seen something that's maybe a little controversial, and then suddenly the whole comments section turns into people yelling at other people, all caps, and you know,
and stuff that makes absolutely no sense. And I mean, let's not forget, you know, we talk about social networks, and you think about kind of obviously Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I always say, let's not forget some of these ones that we don't talk about that much. And YouTube is a social network.
Yep.
Right? And I think that this shift that they announced, again, way back in August last year, they will become an even stronger social network, because now it allows those users to interact with each other within their posse, within their friend group, and it keeps users more engaged, and you're getting that more meaningful engagement.
Yeah, and you know, I think of Google Plus.
I cringe.
This is it. No one's using it, right? Like,
Yeah.
no one, like, it's well, sorry if you're using Google Plus. I'm sorry for saying no one's using it, but it doesn't come up. It doesn't come up in what we do. But I think of YouTube. Everybody's using YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, it's so ubiquitous for us, right? We're always going to YouTube, and sharing the videos through the mobile app is the next progression, right? And being able to create that ecosystem. I haven't seen data on YouTube users, how many there are, and we're not getting, you know, good metrics on who those users are. You know, maybe you're getting an email address. That's probably about it. But the reality is, like, that's a platform that everybody's in. Like,
well, what tells me that YouTube is, like, really big is the fact that there are YouTubers in the way that there are influencers. So you think influencer, you think Instagram. You think YouTuber, it's video blogs on YouTube. They're all influencers. It's just YouTubers post videos on YouTube. YouTube has cultivated that, you know, build your own show, create your own brand. Very powerful tool. And I think something like this gives YouTubers in particular an opportunity to cultivate their audiences on the platform. Whereas in the past, it's either been moderated through the comments or on their blog or on their, like, you know what I mean? YouTube was just like a gateway. So I think this really does open up the opportunity for that, you know, where people can't just come in and troll the whole comment section, but more of a discussion can happen around whatever your YouTube channel's about.
Yeah. Now we're going to talk about one of your favorite apps that you turned me on to about 2 years ago, and that's Slack.
Woohoo!
Woo,
Slack.
Yeah, I've definitely converted over to Slack, and now if you haven't converted over to Slack, now this is the reason to do it, I think. So for those of you who don't know, Slack is a chat app, basically.
Yeah.
You know, like Messenger, MSN Messenger, or Facebook Messenger even.
The email killer.
The email killer, for sure. So we, Brendan and I, collectively and individually are a member of a bunch of different Slack groups. We have one for Acorn 30 that we use to keep all of our team, you know, on it's like our big water cooler where we're talking about what's going on different projects and channels, and you know, it's an informal chat about what's going on. So we use it for many, many things, and it has all kinds of integration, which we've started to really love. Whether that be with, you know, Google Hangouts. So Brendan and I could be chatting in Slack about something, and then launch Google Hangout in the middle of it, because we realize that we really just need to have a face-to-face conversation about it, as opposed to trying to chat, and fun stuff too. So there's a new integration that has just been announced through Mac Rumors, actually, of all places. And that's with Domino's Pizza. So you can now use Dom, quote, the Slackbot, and specify what you want to order on your pizza. And so, like, imagine you're in an office and you're doing a lunch order and you just use Dom and I want extra cheese and pepperoni and this and that, and I can set up my order with my teammates saying, let's order in pizza, what do you want? And people...
This is amazing.
And I think that, and the reason why I spent so much time talking about what Slack is, because I think that Slack has a higher adoption rate in the tech industry.
Yes.
When we talk to people
Definitely.
about Slack, people who instantly know what Slack is are generally working in tech, whereas people who don't quite know what it is aren't. And I hate to say this, but people who are working in tech are kind of big on, let's order some quick food.
Pizza.
Who can deliver?
I am big on pizza.
It's totally on pizza.
Yep.
So it's a really, really cool initiative. They also announced integration with IFT, If That Then This, that whole recipe creator. And you can build a pizza through IFT as well. So that's neat. So beyond pizza being awesome, what do you think about this integration?
No, I think this is awesome. And
Yeah.
I think this is a really good example of what bots are capable of. So this bot is facilitating the ordering of pizza for the office.
There you go.
But then I also think it's a really good test for Domino's, like genius.
Yeah.
Hit the tech market, the people who will understand how to use your bot through something like Slack, which is workplaces.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no other pizza, I haven't heard of any other pizza place doing this. And then work out the bugs and then roll the same bot out on a different
On Facebook,
messaging app.
for example.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Or
I
text
think
message.
I have always loved Domino's for their marketing. Now, years ago, I worked for a company that was also owned by a Domino's franchisee. So the company that I worked for had nothing to do with Domino's Pizza, but other than the same owner. And yeah, I guess that kind of opened my eyes to some of the promotional stuff that they did back then. But they've really been always kind of, in my mind, the first to get involved in technology. And there's an article back in 2014, and we'll link to it in the show notes at themarketingpodcast.ca, by Fast Company in 2014, that Domino's headquarters, their biggest department in 2014 was their IT department, period. And they were the first to do an iPad app with a 3D pizza builder. They were the
Right.
first to roll out a pizza tracker so you could check the
So
status of
but
your
the pizza
order.
tracker, like that's so simple, yet so important.
Yeah, you know, and I remember, you know, we talked about this on a previous episode, brands marketing games, right?
Mhm.
Games to market products. And Domino's was big on PC games back when PC games were starting to make a rise. And they were early adopters on the mobile game side of things too. So this is a no-brainer. They are there for nerds.
Yeah.
And they know it, and they're investing in it.
Now, it might seem like it's totally unobtainable for businesses to do something like, you know,
A Slackbot.
like a Slackbot, but it's not. The tools and the toolkits are out there. The examples are out there. You know, a medium-sized business could easily put a order bot together to help someone order their product.
Yeah.
Pizza's particularly like awesome for this type of thing. But I mean, like, why couldn't a sandwich be done the same way? Why couldn't, you know, a drink order be done the same way? Why couldn't and just keep going? The options are there.
Yeah.
And so it's good to pay attention. Like, this is really niche on the Slack platform from Domino's, but I won't be surprised when they roll this out across other platforms in short time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's really neat. And there are benefits. Like I say, these guys have hooked into tech early on as a pizza company. You wouldn't think them as being a tech company, but again, this 2014 Fast Company article called them just that, an IT company. They're not a pizza company. They just happen to sell pizza. And that early adoption has really paid off for them. So there's definitely a time and a place to be an early adopter. And if your brand can hook into something early and really have fun testing it, then that makes sense. Yeah. Other partnerships. This is another fun one that I want to talk about. Allstate and Waze have got hitched. So I'm saying, not technically, not actually. So Allstate Insurance Company, we don't have in Canada. They cover roughly 16 million U.S. households. Waze, which is owned by Google, is a crowdsourced navigation app, and they have 4 million users a year, of which 2 million are Allstate customers. Now, I don't know if that
Whoa.
4 million are U.S. users or 4
Okay.
million like total.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Like I'm a user of Waze in Canada. I use Waze a lot. I love Waze.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if I'm one of those 4 million or if we're just talking U.S. users. But 50% of their users are Allstate customers. So this seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So now, for anyone who has not used Waze, it's basically your Garmin, your Google Maps when you're asking for directions to a place, and you get the turn by turn. But it's what's the word? Crowdsourced, where if I'm driving down the road and there's a lane closure or a road closure, I can tap that there's a problem. And it's very simple because they want big button taps so that you're not distracted driving, and they typically encourage passengers to be reporting that kind of stuff. And now with Allstate, you can use this same big button kind of thing to request roadside assistance.
Okay.
Right? So here we would have CAA.
Yeah, right.
And it's those kinds of services. It's offer towing, tire change, lockout, jump starting your car.
That's amazing.
Right?
The GPS, the account, the user.
You go right there. Exactly.
Yeah.
So they can track your location. So the second you hit it and say, I'm requesting service, they know exactly where you are because it's GPS based. But they can also share info with your family and friends. So,
right.
If I request a tow because I'm on the side of the road, of course I want to let my family know that there's a problem. But my first mission is to make sure everybody's safe and I've got the tow truck and, whoever I need on the scene, right?
Yeah.
So once I hit that button and call a tow truck, my family's also getting a notification that, Heather just called a tow truck.
Yeah, it doesn't seem necessary for, the flat tire.
Or a
but
lockout.
Or a lockout. But
maybe it's a button trigger, right?
Yeah.
Like, call a tow truck. Do you want us to let your family know?
But it could be a lot worse. The
Right.
accidents could be a lot worse. You might not be thinking, call somebody. And then I'm thinking about parents with
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
It's like, here's Waze, here's the button. If you need any help, you click it.
Yep.
It'll be taken care of,
Yep.
and we'll know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and the
Yeah.
really, really cool thing about it is it's not just for Allstate customers. So, 4 million customers are using Waze. 2 million of those are Allstate customers. The other 2 million can still use the service.
Okay.
They just have to pay for it.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's, you're self-insuring. It's like, I got to call a tow truck. You're going to pay
Yeah.
for that tow truck.
I think about long trips when you're in a place you don't know who you're going to call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just tap the button and they're going to dispatch the right
Yep.
tow truck, the right company to help you out. So it's a great partnership. And we've talked about just moments ago, how can a business deploy this in their regular business? And I guess my point of sharing this is not because I expect everybody to partner with Waze, but the beauty in partnership where you have complementary services.
Yep.
And one is hooked into the other, whatever that is. We were talking about pizza moments ago. It's like, well, it's pizza and beer. Wouldn't it be awesome at the exact same time that somebody's placing a pizza order with your mom and pop that you're also able to, make arrangements with the beer delivery company to get a case of beer delivered to them at the same time or something like that, right? Like those things that go...
Somebody get on that. Make that.
Yeah, make that. Brendan's excited about that. And it's like peanut butter and jelly. They should
Exactly.
just sell them together, So looking for those opportunities to be able to hook your brand to other brands that are no-brainers. It just makes sense. We know that the second they walk out of this store, they're walking over to that store to get this done. So let's just bring those two stores together so that they're working together. And it makes... It locks in that brand loyalty even further because now it's just so more convenient.
Yeah.
Right?
And I would say for small businesses especially, look for some of the unconventional options. It doesn't have to be... Like at first you might not think that it makes sense, but if your customer and their customer use both services, you might be able to come up with something that is complementary.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that article, I don't think we mentioned who that was from. That was from PR News, is where that was first from the Newswire that was announced, and we'll link to it in the show notes at themarketingpodcast.ca. You can also check out all of our content between shows at our Facebook page, The Marketing Podcast. So jump in the conversation and let us know what you think of some of the content that we're putting out there. Share your thoughts on whether or not you'd use the Allstate Waze thing. I wish it comes to Canada. I hope,
What about
if it's
CAA?
not Allstate, exactly,
Yeah.
CAA or whomever, I would actually get a CAA membership again. Like
Right.
like I didn't have one. I'm super loyal to Waze. I used to have a CAA membership. I got kind of a newer car that came with the
Didn't require the CAA.
Well, that, and it had, I think, maybe a year's worth of roadside
Okay.
assistance
Yeah.
left in there. It was used, but it was still new enough. But now I'm at that point. It's like, I haven't needed it yet. It'll be fine. But if it was there, I would totally become a member again.
This is it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
And hopefully they're working on that. Moving on to Facebook, because they're always up to new and exciting stuff. Did you ever see the movie Jumanji?
Like the old one with
Robin Williams?
Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
long time ago.
Yeah.
It was very scary. Just going to throw that out there.
Really?
I was young.
Wow, I guess.
There you go.
Yeah. So there is a new Jumanji that is set to come out with our favorite hero, The Rock.
The Rock.
I don't know who anybody
He
else
tweeted
is.
at a friend of mine recently.
Yeah.
No joke.
There you go. I mean, the guy's everywhere. Just
Yeah.
ask Siri.
Yeah. You do one commercial for Apple and everyone knows who you are.
I mean, I love Cookie Monster for the same reason.
There you
just
go,
for the
true.
record. So this is a story that came off the Oculus blog, and Oculus, of course, is owned by Facebook. Facebook has started testing branded virtual reality content in the newsfeed with a scavenger hunt game. God, I love scavenger hunts. I really, really do. For the upcoming release of Jumanji.
Oh, so you would like look around for the thing.
Oh, this is awesome. No, it's like, so in the game, you can wander around the jungle setting, collecting virtual tokens and exploring scenes from the field, or from the film, rather. The immersive experience was shot in 360-degree video and edited into VR experiences with Facebook's React VR developer kit and Oculus. How cool is this?
This is cool.
I want this.
Does this work?
I don't know. I don't care. I just want it.
We'll have to get an Oculus and test it.
Like, legitimately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully it works on other VR headsets too. Oculus might be hard to get.
Yeah, and the neat thing is, if you don't have it, where did I see this? You can still use it in Facebook 360
Oh, so like
degree.
our Google Cardboard will do it.
Our Google Cardboard will make it work. Yeah.
All right, that's it for the marketing podcast today. We're off to
Let's pull out the cardboard. Yeah, so it's really, really cool, right? So we bought a 360 camera, the Ricoh Theta 360, that does video as well as photo. And the video on it, we've been playing with it, I guess is the best thing to say. It's like trying to figure out how to use it for brands and have fun with it and good environments for it. I mean, and we've talked on the podcast about VR, and, real estate is always the ones that come up, or, augmented reality to do the product placement and that kind of stuff. This is a really cool application of it. And I mean, for the Ricoh Theta, which this show should be sponsored by, isn't like we're plugging them, but with with our Ricoh Theta, it's not a very expensive piece of hardware to purchase. It's super small, not much bigger than my iPhone, right? Yep. And it's a neat way to bring customers into your business. So if you have something that people can experience with some Google Cardboard, or even on Facebook, even if they don't have Cardboard, right? Those 360 videos we're seeing more and more of on Facebook that you can spin through and look around.
Yep.
People are wanting to engage that way, and it's really cool to be able to, help people explore your brand, right? And we've been playing with it with some of our clients with Acorn 30 and having fun with it. This is a really cool application where you get to do that scavenger hunt, and you're collecting, and like that's a whole next level.
We've done live streaming too with the 360, which I think is a really cool opportunity, especially if you've got like a performance or a stage event Google does this with their I/Os, where they put a 360 camera in the audience.
Yeah.
Or I've heard of bands putting a 360 camera on stage.
Yes.
So you literally get to watch as if you were there, or watch as if you're standing on the stage with the band.
Yeah, and I mean, I think about, the way a band is usually set up on stage. You've got your lead, your guitar guys, kind of towards the front of the stage, and then the drummer is in the center back, typically. And it would be cool to have that 360 camera in front of the drummer,
in between,
behind the guys, right, behind your frontman. And you could spin around and look, or get a closer look at the drummer, who's usually set so far back, or watch them make eye contact between one another as they're like catching up. Or
I saw a really cool music video, like one of these like one-take music videos, where they set up the 360 camera in an old-style saloon.
Neat. And
while they played the music video, and they were kind of in one half of the scene, but while all the other actors were acting the whole time.
There was like a vignette going on.
Exactly.
How neat is that?
It was really cool. I should try. I'm blanking on the name, but I should try to find the name of that, because it was just like a cool use, and they didn't have to do it. They did it.
Yeah.
Like they had must have been 30 people in the room, all doing different things.
That would be so cool.
Yeah.
It's a really good opportunity to give your audience a behind-the-scenes peek at what's going on.
Yep.
That they don't see. It's that it's really just pulling back the curtain and showing something. We did the live streaming on a radio show, right?
We could
set it up here.
Yeah.
We did 360 streaming on a live radio show, and people could kind of look around at the people being interviewed, and look at the control panel, and look at the sound booth that we were in, and that was kind of a fun experience. So we're seeing more of this adoption. And we are going to be, hopefully, using it more and more. And I feel like, Brendan, you've got something in your hand right now. You've got it.
I've actually got it in my hand.
Fantastic.
I'm going to take a picture.
Okay, and we'll share this. I love that
so weird,
sound.
because you don't look anywhere,
Yeah.
because everybody's in the shot.
Everybody's in the shot.
Yeah.
I remember I used that little camera. I tell the story like 10 times over. I went to a wedding last summer, and I took that camera with me. And, of course, at the wedding dinner, everybody is sitting at those big round tables of 8. And I just walked up to – and it was a family wedding, so I pretty much – like I knew everybody there, like both sides of the family. So I just like walked into the middle – like not into the middle, but like I walked into the table and said, "Hey, guys, everybody smile." And I'd like throw my arm in the middle of the table and push the button, and it was like a full 360. And they're like, "Where do we look?" Just look.
Just look, yeah.
Just look. Because like – so like I basically took a photo of everybody sitting at all the tables, and it was a kind of a fun experience.
So now here's the question. How do we get a 360 selfie stick?
Oh, I don't know. How do we get rid of the stick altogether? That's what I want to know. Is that it? Are we done the show already?
That's it.
That is
nothing else.
Nothing else. Well, now
I can keep talking.
Now that you've got the 360 camera out, I think we can maybe end the show and play with it a little bit. Oh goodness, he's totally going all crazy on the selfies. Awesome.
Can you hear the noise?
That's so cute. We'll throw those up on the marketingpodcast.ca and on our Facebook page at the Marketing Podcast. So have a follow, take a look, and share us your ideas for using a 360 camera beyond Jumanji. I don't know what's going to top that.
Yeah.
That's pretty hardcore. So for the Marketing Podcast, I'm Heather Watson.
And I'm Brendan Quigley.
Thanks for listening.